coming from here, you know.
Okay. If you are in the building and you can hear us,
Give
because
us a
we
thumbs
had
up.
some audio issues the last time, make sure you type something in the comments. Let us know that you can hear us. Please, ma'am. Please, sir, because we don't want to be talking to ourselves. And welcome to Marriage Talk. All right, so somebody let us know. We literally see that you are watching. You do know that
You know, when you go in somebody's house, you're supposed to say something, right?
You know that we are able to see that, you guys. You know, we have people watching. So again, want to make sure that you guys can hear us before we get into Marriage Talk. So if you can hear us, make sure that you say something. Hi, hello, I can hear you. Audio is all good. And yeah, you want me to test in the other room and make sure?
That's good.
Yeah. Do you think it was on mute that whole first time?
I don't know. I didn't have it on mute. You must have hit it on mute.
No, it was always on mute.
No, well, they couldn't hear us.
Oh, okay. I did a whole welcome for you guys.
Yeah, well, go ahead and say it again since everybody didn't hear you last time.
Welcome one.
Don't do that.
Welcome all. Welcome to Marriage Talk. If you've never joined us before, this is a time that we come together and just share what's going on in real marriages. Kind of the highs, the lows, the lefts, the rights, and we have conversation with you guys. And tonight we will be talking about
what's going on in the world and how is it affecting you? How is it affecting us? We want to talk about all that. I mean, it's definitely affecting us in more ways than many. And I don't know about you guys, but it has been, I guess the best word to say is it's much prayer has been needed and always is needed. And yeah. So make sure you guys are liking, make sure you guys are sharing, and we want to hear from you. How y'all doing? Let us know how y'all doing. We telling y'all we struggling. Real life. real life. We over here like, let's get this thing together. Like for real. Like how y'all doing? Tell us what y'all doing.
So you struggling with that?
It's been interesting. It has been. It's been interesting because we've been dealing with COVID-19 first, and it was a whole homeschooling thing. It was a whole trying to get through homeschool, trying to make sure kids was doing their work, and trying to make sure like it was tough. And then we went from there, and then we have the whole racial and systematic injustice, systemic injustice that's going on. As also, I feel like has been a long-lasting pandemic. It hasn't like just started, but a pandemic that we can't seem to heal or get out of. And it's been interesting because it's been tougher this time around than it has been before. And I don't know if it's partially because of COVID-19 that has been here as well as I don't know.
I mean, it's always been here, but I wonder if we've been shut up in the house for a while, and I wonder if that. Not saying that that's the reason for our reaction. It's wrong. Like what is going on is wrong. But I just wonder if if there's any correlation between being in a pandemic and facing yet another pandemic.
Right. Could be. I mean,
because everybody's flipping out.
Yeah.
And they are right. Yeah. So I probably shouldn't say that on the church page, but pray my strength. Yeah. Well, we'll get into that conversation.
Yeah. It's been interesting.
We got a couple more people. We can see you, and you're not being nice. You're not saying hi. We need to hear you. Well, we can't hear you, but say hi. Let us know that you are here. Make sure that you liking and sharing and inviting a friend or two or three or four. We would love to know who is in the building with us as we kind of, get through what's going on in marriage.
Yeah. So before we get started with what we really want to talk about, I want to ask you, how has it been now that school is kind of like over? Like school is, how is it now that school is kind of like over? And are you feeling better? Are you feeling kind of so better?
Um,
Like how you feeling?
I'm not sure if I'm feeling better because I am very much a structured person, and at least although the COVID-19 homeschooling was horrible in my opinion, they had a purpose. You know what I mean? Like they had something to do every day. Like whether we wanted to or not, we know that we had school.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's just with the pandemic still going on, what are they supposed to do? So I'm a bit torn with that.
Mm-hmm.
And those of you that know us personally, one of the advantages of not living near either of our parents is that we don't do kids in the summer.
This is true.
Yeah. The kids have had a passport from they were
Babies.
a couple weeks old.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
more so for us, not for them.
Yeah.
I want my kids to travel the world and see 30 countries for 4 or 5. Nah, they just need to go to grandma's house.
Yeah. So to the point where we weren't even responsible for potty training our kids. My mom kind of did that.
And we're all okay with that.
We're okay. We're fine. Judge thou us not. But it's just a mixture of feelings now because without the school, without them not being able to go to grandma's house for the extent of time, and without summer camps, I'm not really sure how I feel about camp situation with everything that's going on. So it's just, and we still work. So what they supposed to do? I don't want it to be a case where they're on, electronics all day or tablet or Xbox or whatever else is at the house. So yeah, long story short, I don't know how I feel.
Yeah.
Okay. How are you guys dealing with the summer? Like let's dive into the kid situation first. If you are a parent, if you're an aunt, if you're a godmother, how do you feel about summer? Because this summer is like any other.
Yeah, this summer is going to definitely be different because before, not only just being able to take them like to grandkids, the grandparents and all that good stuff, but we also have another element of it's going to be really different. They're not really much summer camps because even when they went to grandma's and they can at least go to a summer camp and stay there for the week or at least have like the meals. Like now their lunch about to go up, grocery bill about to go up. Because it's
light bill.
It was like that before because even when they were at homeschool, it's like y'all don't eat at school. Like what happened? How do y'all? Because there's no way they're feeding y'all as much as we feeding y'all. So it definitely has become different. So now, is the summer is going to be interesting. We're going to see where.
Hold on 1 second. The question is, just in case you're just joining us, how are you planning to deal with your kids in the summer? Like with everything that's kind of happening, right? So how is your mental state for the summer?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not logistics, but how are you going to deal with the summer?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think for us, it's going to be to see what I know you've already started trying to find virtual camps and also to see what other kind of camps that are available. That way we can still send them to. You still have to practice the social distancing, have to practice all of that. But the thing is, we really just have to make sure that we are putting them in a safe environment. If we do reach out or send them to other places, they just have to be in a safe environment. And if not, it's going to be like.
And how do you know what's safe? You know what I mean? Like, it's just so much to think about. It's just like, it's bananas. I kind of hit that. I don't know. Let's see. We got a comment here. Yeah, there are no summer programs so far, so this would be rough. I have no idea. I am feeling the same thing. Like every time I think about it, no lie to you, I literally want to crawl just up under the biggest blanket that I have, because I don't know. I don't know if this makes me a bad mom, but y'all know me. I express
Mhm.
exactly how I feel. I do not know what to do with the kids for the summer. I do not know
Yeah.
how to keep them entertained, educated, fed.
Mhm.
Like, but it'll definitely get us to think outside of the box. I have a question for you. So,
For me.
yeah.
Mhm.
So my work schedule staggers, right? And even on days when I'm teaching, it's not like all day as opposed to John, who works 76 hours a day. So how do you feel about kind of leaving the responsibility of the kids? How does it feel to, like, I don't know how I'm at how to ask what I'm asking.
Say it.
How does it feel to, like, be free from the kids, even doing this?
I don't know. I don't, because I mean, I feel like life is kind of like, I feel like I've been around the kids more now than I have been before. And the reason why is because I was going to work and they were going to school. So we spent time apart anyway. And now that I'm also working from home, I see them more. So it's not so much for me as I see them less now. I see them more now still because
Yeah, but you get, I feel like, and this is not tit for tat, but you get a chance to, okay, so you got, some of we have an office that's away from home. So we both have an opportunity to escape home.
right.
We both have an opportunity to escape home and go to the office and work. How do you feel about consistently leaving the house, coming to the office to work? Like, do you feel just normal, or with everything going on, like, do you feel any different? Like, the leaving the responsibility on me?
No, I mean, I've always been of that nature that I'm like, I'm going to make sure I do what I can do to help you out. So we have even, like you said, shared that ability to be able to, you come to the office and I stay home with the kids. So we have had that opportunity to kind of like switch. So I've always been open and like, if you need to go, go, and then leave me here. It's always been that, and even if you're not teaching, it's just a matter of just having that flexibility open. It's like if you're not teaching, then that's fine. You can still come to the office. I'll stay there, or they can come with me. I think it's just making sure that you have open communication in terms of just saying
Look at
if
that
you need
word.
it.
That comes up every marriage.
It's fine. If
It
you
doesn't
have,
matter. We talk about kids, household chores, finances. It's
you just have
just,
to have open communication. As long as you're open and you say how you feel, then you know me. I'm not gonna be like, nah, I think you should keep them. Like,
yeah.
I ain't
And
gonna say that like
that's
that.
what's been seriously working for us. There are days when I come to the office and I don't have to teach, but I just need a minute to breathe from the kids. So my advice would be, while we're in this situation, while we're currently in the midst of two pandemics, one of which we'll talk about very, very soon, find a way to kind of take a break. Especially if you have kids. One of the things that I do when I'm home with the kids and John is at the office, I put myself in timeout. Like, I don't even need to put you in timeout. What I'm going to do is be the bigger person, and I am going to go in the room. And you are not allowed to knock on that door or need anything unless somebody's bleeding, and I give you a time. Right? Like, I'm like, it's 2:00 until 4:00. You guys
Yep.
are not allowed to come into my room unless someone is injured.
She's pretty strict with that too.
Yeah, and I'm like dead serious. And I'm doing nothing. I am.
Yeah, you have to
Because you
set your
just have to
boundaries.
take, like,
Yeah.
you will go legit crazy fussing at kids all day who decide to eat 13 times a day. Y'all don't even eat the school lunch. Why you gotta eat here?
Absolutely. Yep. 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 Yeah, so we have really been trying to deal with it as best as we can. And now that we move into the summer, it's going to be really interesting how things progress. Because now my job, I mean, they're asking us to come back into the office. They haven't asked my department yet, but soon we're going to get that knock on the door and be like, hey, when y'all coming back? And it's just going to be like,
yeah.
So I think that's going to be the biggest thing. We're going to figure out where we are in the summer in a couple of weeks, and we're moving in the midst of all this. So
let's not talk about that. We want to keep the conversation very positive.
Yeah.
I think it's a good I'm telling you now, guys. You have to be mindful of the age of your children. Our kids are 7 and 11. If y'all have babies, you cannot use the timeout method.
Yeah, don't go put that baby in the crib. Right? I'll let you in a couple hours.
That's not allowed. We're not giving any type of advice that could possibly send you to jail or anything like that. But that is help. But you know what's been so funny during this process? I watched the family on Friday nights. So everybody's together, you're eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner together. You're watching TV together. You're doing this together, that together. On Friday nights, everybody goes in their own corner and nobody talks to each other for I think a good 2 hours. Yeah. We're sick and tired of each other. It just gets to the point, and I laugh every Friday. And it's kind of like an unspoken thing in the house. John is on his game. Yeah. I'm in the room, one child this way, and nobody talks to each other for a good solid.
Except for Khalees.
But even Khalees.
She has her moments, but then she'll come back and then she'll have a tablet in her hand and she'll be like, what you doing? And be like, nothing. And especially with you, she wants to play Uno with you.
I've installed the Uno app. Yeah. On my phone.
And on her phone.
That's my thing. Our 7-year-old has decided to also install the Uno app on her phone. Now, we together all the time. Do you know that this child wants to play with me even while I'm bruh.
And she's not I'm gonna go in the other room and you play. It's we sitting right beside each other and just
Mommy, you need to play this. Mommy.
That's called.
You are negative 4 years old. Go cheating. Sit down. I know how to play Uno.
Y'all looking at y'all hand and y'all know it. You play this one, then I gonna play this one. That's not how this game goes. It's called cheating. You're just supposed to know.
But that's where we're at with the kids. But I will be praying for everybody, and I ask that you, with all sincerity, pray for us for the summer, because this is going to be.
Yeah. And we do the same thing. We'll do the same for you guys. I mean, I hope that you guys have started to research, see what's available. I know, state of Florida, they're doing tomorrow. We'll be moving into phase 2 of reopening, whatever that means. And so more stuff is going to be open. The theme parks are getting ready to be open.
They have summer camps in Jacksonville free of charge.
Yeah.
But they also release. I mean, I think this week past was the highest rate.
It went back up from
the highest spike, right, of the coronavirus. But we have summer camps opening.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is going to be how do they protect the kids as well as themselves, but how do they protect everyone that's here? And it's just going to be making sure that they have the right precautions in place, making sure they put a cap on how many kids can come. Because especially when it's free, everybody's going to want to be there. And for the people that are essential workers, or not just essential workers, but they have to get back to work, they have to have a place for their kids to go. And I think we're fortunate that we don't have to worry about that. But in case if you are going to the office every day, I'm going to the office every day, we would have to figure out which one would be the best.
It's a tough call.
So my heart is out to you guys that are trying to figure it out. But some of you guys that just came in,
hi.
What's going on, Vito? Dr. B, what's going on?
Let's see, we got
a question too.
Are they requiring the kids to wear a mask at summer camp?
I don't know.
No.
I don't know. I don't think all of them will. And I think if they do, they're going to allow them to wear it at certain times.
Well, the city of
So-
Jacksonville, that's where we live, they're requiring like the counselors and the workers to wear masks.
Mhm.
But masks are, at least the ones that I've researched, they're optional for kids. And I mean, I can kind of see why, because, you know, if I carry one of the kids to the grocery store and they rarely go, but if I have to slip in for something, they act like they are literally going to die in the mask for
Mhm.
all of 4 minutes. So I can't imagine kids being subjected to wearing a mask for the entire day. But that's where, you know, I don't know. I'm not comfortable with it. I'm not yet.
Yeah, I think with them having to wear a mask, it would also, I mean, that the mask would have to be the right mask, and you never know who's going to send the right mask. So, for instance, if you got someone sending a child there with a construction worker mask on, they running around, jumping off of everything, about to die because they can't breathe. Like it has to be the right one. And even with the cloth mask, you can't be at the summer camp either and just passing out masks.
Yeah.
Like that's going to
I
be
don't know what they're
unsanitary
gonna
at
do.
some point. So it's really just trying to figure out what's the best approach. And again, I'm not a medical professional, so I'm not going to claim to know what the answer is. But I just want to
Jay
make
and
sure
Khalees
that,
ain't going.
yeah, they have to be
We
careful.
are professionals for our two.
Yeah.
And,
And for you guys to have kids, I mean, just do your best to do your research on it. I mean, I feel like there's not going to be any right answer right now. And I'll say this. I mean, I feel like this whole thing is getting better as far as like how we treat the COVID-19, how restaurants are treating it. They're doing more
we've
spaced
definitely
out.
seen some improvement.
Yes, I mean they're doing the right stuff, but it's just
We got
it's
another
getting-
comment about, I don't even want to think about that. I'm gonna throw that comment. No,
Yeah,
I am not, I don't know if it's called anxiety, because I don't know if I've ever experienced that, but I'm feeling something
yeah,
every time I think about, like
yeah.
school. Like I
Yeah.
have no idea what is going to happen.
School is going to be a
In
mess.
August, in September.
Yeah, I feel
I'm
like
not-
as long as we have a good decline of positive cases,
Jonathan
I'm
ready
gonna
to
keep
send
the
them
hope.
to school.
No, it's not just me trying to send them to school. I just think that we're going to be better off, and I think everyone needs it. Everyone needs their separation. Kids need their separation. We need our separation.
Well, let me tell y'all
Everybody
something.
need it.
Hey,
Everybody.
Kim, let me tell y'all something. So, our school sent us a survey, right? And asking the parents, how do you feel about going back to school, so forth and so on. Every question, so 4 of us we're discussing the survey and I'm asking their feedback. Every question, John is like, send them to school, send them to school.
Right.
Send them to
Go.
school. No staggered schedule. Send them to school.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
No A B schedule. No, we need A B C D E F. We need the whole week.
So clearly,
Yeah.
we don't discuss this a lot because we're on 2 different
Yeah.
pages.
Yes, I mean I think we're going. I think we still have
And I
a ways
agree
to
with
go.
this. Mentalbreak.com.
Right.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
we need
We
a
definitely need a
mental
break.
break.
Mhm.
You have to. You
Yeah.
have to.
Yeah. So we are trying to navigate and get to where we need to go. So, as we shift topic a little bit, as we get through the pandemic, I think we'll be fine. But I think one of the major things that we need is we need to explore and see how you guys are doing with the other pandemic that's going on, and the pandemic that just keeps rearing its head back up. And that's our fight currently right now for police brutality, getting justice on that, and also for Ahmaud Arbery that's here in Brunswick. And I was telling somebody the other night, I said Ahmaud Arbery, Brunswick is 45 minutes away from Jacksonville.
we
And
go to
whenever we go to
Brunswick
South Carolina,
all the time to eat.
we're there. And it's amazing how you can be so close to this stuff that's happening. And his was an ex-cop, so they wasn't, literally police brutality, but just the racial tensions that are there. we thought we kind of like got away from it, but it's still everywhere. It's somewhere in
So
Minneapolis.
let me ask this question. How is the racial tension and what's going on in this new pandemic? How is this affecting your marriage?
Yeah.
Is it affecting your
Mhm.
marriage?
Mhm.
Because when you're one, right? When you're one, these situations, you deal with them together. What affects him affects us,
Mhm.
and vice versa.
Right. And make sure you are sharing and get some more people in here because we want to hear what everyone else has to say. And I also want to hear any of your opinions and just if y'all have questions, I just want to hear it. So,
did you guys watch the pre-trial?
For Ahmaud Arbery, I saw snippets. I didn't get really the chance to really watch it, but I did see some of the comments and some of the stuff in it, and I was really like, are you serious?
I haven't.
This was for the one in Brunswick.
I know,
Yeah.
but I haven't. I've been just. I am to the point where I just have to be informed, but be filtered because it just So I did not. What did you?
Yeah, but you haven't even watched the video though of it. I mean, and so I guess I got one question I do have for you guys. Like, have you guys watched the video of it? I mean, it's streaming all everywhere. You can find it. It's just Google search it and you'll see it. But have you guys seen it? I have seen both of them. But I know Vinzana, she hasn't.
Of course, I've seen the portions of the video because it's everywhere. You can't go anywhere and not see, clips from the video. Yeah. But as far as sitting down and intentionally watching it, it's just something that I don't know. What I've learned about life, what I've learned about personal experiences is once you've seen or heard something, that's it, right? That's why I choose. And this is just Vinzana's decision. If you decide to watch all the videos, kudos to you. But I've learned personally and things that I know of that has happened that has nothing to do with where we're at right now. I can't get that out of my head.
Right.
So to protect this, I cannot watch the full clip.
Yeah.
I just couldn't.
Yeah, I mean, I was able to watch it. It still tore me up. It tore me up.
And then he would talk about it. Excuse me.
Yeah, I watched it and she was like, I was like, well, let me tell you what happened. You're like, nah, I don't even want to know what happened. Yeah. But I mean, I think one of the things is when you do see it, if you do see it, the biggest thing about it is just, it's a matter of putting yourself in those shoes. And then also not just putting yourself, but putting your cousins, putting your nephews, putting your uncles, putting your own children in those shoes.
Look at this one.
And it's just, so defense said that the Michaels are racist and made. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, the defense, he was pretty much like, they racist. Like he just was like, they racist.
You think everybody's just tired?
Yeah, I think at some point they will be. And I think we are as a people, we're starting to get. You still have those, in our terms, outliers, but you still have people that are just doing the most, and people are just tired of them, and people are tired of trying to defend them and trying to make excuses for them. No, this is who they are. This is who they is. It's just they're showing you your true colors. What do you want me to say to try to make it sound better? It's just, it is what it is. And I also think, not only that, I also think that one of the things that I did also see from the defense attorney, he was saying how he kind of made it seem like this is the norm. Certain racial things happen here. This is just how it is. You can't just make this this is just how it is. And I think that's where we are. Some people have gotten so so used to people being racist and racism that it feels like a normal everyday occurrence. It's like, oh, we were just talking. Like we were just having a good old time. Like this what's happening now and the language that's happening now, how you it is unimaginable how we are going through and it's starting to be like this is just the norm. In the instance of police brutality, it's like, oh, another black guy got killed by a police officer. Like some people, they don't even really feel it because it's been happening. It's and it's at some point, I think this one was different. And I believe it was different because of everything that led up to it. We had Ahmaud Arbery that led up to it. That was in February and it was hidden all the way up until April or until May. And then boom, everything got uncovered. It was like, whoa, wait a minute, where did this come from? It was hidden. And then right after that, Breonna Taylor. And the sad thing about that, and there's no footage on it in terms of video, but there is a phone call from the 911 operator. And they basically shot up her apartment with a no-knock warrant, shot up her apartment, and then they left her there. So the boyfriend had to call 911. So the boyfriend was calling 911 so they can come and get her. And when he called 911, then he said, okay, I need help. I don't know what's happening. They came there and they arrested him. It was those two. It was like, this is unbelievable. And then after that, then here comes Floyd.
Read that. We just want all over the world.
Yeah.
And, there's been a lot of conversation this week. As you guys know, that I'm originally from the Bahamas. Yes, I live in the United States, but it's been interesting to see the conversation between both countries, right?
Yeah.
And this is not just a United States thing.
Oh, no.
You know what I mean? All over the world, that's all we're asking for. We're just asking for justice to be served.
Right.
That's it. So my question is, with everything, and I'll kind of start the answer because something I want to share. How does what's going on in the world, and I asked it a second ago, how does that affect your marriage? For me, with you, it has been very difficult to, I guess, like to understand, to see him in pain, right? Like not physical pain, but emotional pain. How to have conversations that I don't know how to have because while Black women experience struggles, I'm not a Black man. So I will never know how a Black man feels. Does that make sense? Like, so for me, I think that has affected, like, I don't know what to do. I don't know the right thing to say. I know to acknowledge. That's one of the things that we've always done in our marriage is acknowledge that this person is in pain. Now, do you know the right words to say when that person is in pain? No. So for me, that's how this pandemic that has just been reoccurring in our lives has affected, me in our marriage.
Yeah, we're curious to see like how has that affected you, not just in your marriage, but just in general. Like, how is it affecting you in terms of your relationships, maybe cousins or close friends? How is that affecting you and how you feel for them? From a male perspective, it's always been that instance that I always wanted to make sure that I was able to provide and protect for my family. And in some instances, you kind of like feel a little hopeless. It's because you see where you're like, I may not be able to make it home to provide and protect. Or what if I'm in a situation where we get stopped? Am I not able to protect my family because of the abuse of power? There are so many things that go on in the back of your head when you see this continuing to happen. And not just that it continues to happen. It's a reason why it continues to happen. It's continuing to happen because it's allowed.
Yep.
And because it's allowed, it makes it even tougher. And that's one of the things, like for me, it's just been having to deal with that. On the professional side, it's also been hard. It's because I work in an industry that is, I mean, 90 to 98%, not us. And because it's 90 to 98% not us, is having to deal with how do I continue to come to work for people who may not be fighting for me or may not be genuinely fighting for me? Can they even acknowledge that I have this issue, that I have this pain? Can they even acknowledge that, Jonathan, we feel you? And not just me, but everybody else that's working there. Our industry, I work in the insurance industry, and if you look at if you go to your own insurance company, if you go to your own insurance company and you go to their website and you look at their board of directors, it's highly, highly unlikely you will see any of us that are our color under the board. Like, we're not in leadership, we're not in on the senior level, or not on the director level. Hardly, it's not there. Most of the roles that they give us are entry level and customer service type roles. And then when things like this happen, you don't hear from them. And it makes it tough. It has been very tough. I mean, I had a conversation with my boss and just told her how I felt, and she sympathized with it, and I respect her for it highly, highly. I mean, she really did a good job of addressing it and just listening. And I think we have to do a better job of speaking up at our employers. And the other part I was just sharing with you today, I said, do I really go out here and say something and jeopardize my job?
Let's be real. Let's
Like,
talk about it.
How mad do I get? Am I, as a Black man, am I going to get so upset that I'm going to potentially lose my job because they don't care?
Some comments, and I think it's, from my perspective, being taken a little out of context. So I have a question. Why is that? Why is what? I'm not sure. If you can
elaborate. Joe,
elaborate.
if you can just elaborate on it. But Brittany, I've seen so many African American colleagues and other business owners I respected to be silent. That was, yes. It's so many of us that are silent, and that's another problem that we have, is too many of us are silent. Too many of us are trying to protect our coins too hard, and that can be a totally different conversation.
You also have to understand, it's a two-edged sword there, because people are not silent. Not everyone's silent because they're afraid.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are silent because they just do not know what to say.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
And I felt that way too. Like, I'm just like, why aren't you saying anything?
Yep.
But then I've also looked at me and I'm like, why aren't you saying anything?
Mm-hmm.
Like, exhausted of saying the same thing. It's like a bad child.
Right.
Right. But he answered the why question. So let's come back. His question, why do you feel scared to go to work?
I
don't.
It's not that I feel scared to go to work. It's none of that. It's the feeling of going to work and being around people and being on calls of people that may not even care about that you have gone through a traumatized experience. And it's not about being scared to go to work, because I'm not scared to go to work. I'm not scared to do my job. I'm going to still be at the best that I can be at my job. It's how do you be around people that are genuinely not even for you or don't even care about you? Because when all this happened, it struck a nerve in us. It did something to us. It hit something. For most of the men that I've talked to, all of them have said it did something to them. And it did something to me. And it was hard for me to focus. It was hard for me to really give it my all. And I am of the mentality, I've always been raised that I'm going to do everything I can to be the best at who I am. And sometimes that means I need to take a step back to process what I am going through so that I can launch forward and be the best that I can be. And that's all it is. It has nothing to be about being scared or not being able. It's just a matter of just me trying to make sure that I protect my mental health. And I also protect mental health for my family. Because I'm not going to be good for my family if I go work somewhere and then be exhausted. There's been this week, I think this week especially, like some of the days when I got back home, I just
We
crashed.
talking, I'm in the kitchen cooking, we talking, and he just gone. Like,
I went straight to sleep. I
Straight to
just
sleep,
crashed because it was so, everything was so heavy, and you're also trying to, and I also didn't want to take out anything on anyone else. You know what I mean? So I didn't want to like be on a call and then there's something I didn't really agree with. I didn't want to take it. It's a matter of just protecting yourself and doing what you have to do. And it's different.
and for us, it was also a matter of understanding to process your feelings. Everyone does not process their feelings in the same way. So, one day you called, you were just like, you know what? I just need to take a moment. And that's okay.
Right.
Take a moment.
Right.
Like, take a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We're not just dealing with
Mhm.
just this. You know what I mean? Like, that's not what you're dealing with, this and life and bills
Right.
and kids and coronavirus and ministry and, in no particular order. Take a
Right.
moment. When he
Absolutely.
said he needed a moment, okay, let me know what you need.
Right.
I'm here.
Right.
How can I help you have your moment, whatever that
Mhm.
is? Yeah,
Mhm.
whatever that is. But it's just been
Yeah.
like, it's been a rough,
Yeah. It's definitely been a rough last 2 weeks.
couple of months, I feel like.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we're all trying to get through it. And I would encourage anyone, whether they're male or whether they're not, I would encourage everyone to make sure that you're out here doing the best for yourself. Make sure you're doing the best for your family. At the end of the day, you know what you can take, you know what you can do, you know all that, and just making sure that you're just protecting yourself and protecting your families. I think that's the biggest thing. You are no good to your family if you come back home and you are shot. And yeah, and I say you're shot, I mean emotionally, physically, mentally, you are no good to your family. You can't help them. And this is where it really hit home for me. What it really hit home for me is just that it was I can't be there for her if I'm through, if I'm tore up. Of course, we always talk about in marriage that it's a give and take. We have to be there for each other and all that. And she has been wonderful in being there for me and asking me how are you doing and all that. But at some point, I'm also going to have to turn it because I have to understand that she also feels as well. And that's the other part of it. It's just a matter of just making sure that we are both together. And when I needed that moment, she gave me that moment. But I have to also make sure that I'm strong enough to be able to hold her when she needs me. So,
And like every conversation that we have, and we can kind of hit on some of these comments, like every conversation that we have, it's just important to continue that, just that line of communication. We might have to speak up because the guys are cleaning the office building right now. So let us know if you can't hear us.
yeah.
But just to keep that line of communication open, I always want to be able to support him and he me. But you can't get mad at somebody for not supporting you if you don't express that you need support, right? Like that's a big thing too. If you need a minute alone, say that you need a minute alone. Women, I can just try to speak to women. Provide that space where your husband, your fiance, whatever, is comfortable enough to have the platform to express. There were moments when he was expressing and I wanted to say something, but that wasn't the time. He just needed to express. And either he's going to express it to me, he's expressed it with other men, but I want home to be that place where he can come to first. So setting up that that environment that it's okay for you to not feel okay, but let's see how we can help in that.
Right.
You want to hit on some of those?
Yeah. And the system was, yep, system was built for it.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know what else to say, Dr. B. You hit it. You hit it. Yeah, the cleaning crew outside.
The doors?
They very, 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 very close. It's like it's every night. Don't worry about it. But yeah, I think one of the things that we have to learn is we are still trying to fight and do what we can. And I'm encouraging. I mean, we are not only one thing about us in the church is we have been
Now, Dr. B, listen, this did not happen yesterday, boo. This did not happen yesterday. This took a really long time, and it's still. I'm not gonna front. I do not pretend like I have it all together. She is a continuous work in progress. I mean, like to the millisecond. I am working because that's so funny though. I needed that laugh. But that's not why you single, girl. The right one just ain't come yet. Yeah. Okay, what we talking about?
Snapping of the fingers. Just.
Well, you got to snap out the vacuum sound.
Oh, okay, cool. No, I think
still don't be vacuum.
I think one of the more important parts is we have to make sure we do what we can. I think us making sure that we are good to go, continue to have those conversations in your community, continue to have those conversations in your house, continue to have those conversations with your family members that may be distant. Continue to do
question.
that.
All right.
Okay.
I have a question. I think I typed this question. So those of you with kids, how do you have this conversation with your children? What age do you start? How do you begin it? What do you say? Yeah. So, and this is not just for your biological children, because some of you are the greatest aunts, uncles, godmama, god, whatever. Like, how do you have those conversations? And I'll admit, I have left a lot of these conversations to John. And I'm kind of the burden on him because I'm just like we grew up differently.
Mm-hmm.
And, I read this one article where people say the Bahamas is the Wakanda.
Mm.
I grew up with just seeing Black success. Like, I grew up with blackity black all around me. Yes, we have white Bahamians, but I don't know how to have these conversations.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. We're not perfect, right? It was not perfect growing up, but it's just a difference. So the question is like, how do you encourage these conversations? I am trying to be more in the conversation because I need to be able to have those and be comfortable enough to have them
right
without him and with him. So what age? Let's see. In fairness, well, if that's what you believe, like she says she believes in fairness. I don't see how that can be problematic. But what age? So Khaleesi's 7. As far as I'm concerned, other than us watching movies, and of course we have discussions after movies and things of that nature. What do we start to say to her?
I mean, I think Khaleesi's a little different. I will say I do believe it comes with the maturity of the child. And I think as early as you can start to navigate their behavior to not see color as soon as possible, that's best. And I think we've done that job from the start. Like, you're not going to disrespect somebody. And I mean, and this is one thing that we it's kind of crazy because I remember here, we was actually in South Carolina, and Jay was going to a particular school I won't name. And he was young, he was like 3, I think. And when he was going, most of the teachers, they were Black. And they talked about Dr. Martin Luther King. They talked about, and this was great. You need that education. I get it. You need it. But, he came home one day and he said something like, yeah, I don't really like white people because of what they did before. It's like, wait, that's where I kind of like draw the line. It's like, I understand you want to teach about Black history and, you want to be the best that you can be. I'm all for that. But you don't have to do that while demeaning somebody else.
Yeah.
Like, that's not what we're going to do. We have to make sure that we're teaching them from the start, because I'm telling you, they are learning this behavior at home first.
Oh, sure.
When the whole Arbery, like the father and the son, it was a father and son that killed them. It wasn't a father and his friend. It was a father and a son. This was learned behavior. This was taught behavior from birth.
So do you
And
think we're teaching without teaching?
I think at some point you have to. You have to do things and make sure and pull that inclusive. You have to do it. You have to mix it up. Don't just have it on one side. It's not saying that you can't show them that you should be proud of who you are. You have to do that. But you can do that without demeaning somebody else.
I agree with that. I agree with that. Let me say age 12. Ooh, 12 now is a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I think at 12, like Jay's 11, he'll be
Jay's
12 going to the 7th grade, and he would have already experienced it by then, depending on his environment. Now, if he's sheltered, that's a whole different topic. But I think with how things are here in America is you need to have that conversation because they can experience that in elementary school.
They are experiencing it.
Yeah.
So one of the ways that something that I saw actually on Instagram, and we're not going to be here much longer.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I
like 5
thought it
minutes.
would be a good idea. When we started the conversation, those of you that were with us earlier, we started the conversation about children in the summer and what we're going to do, seeing that everything's kind of haywire.
Mhm.
Well, I saw this activity where this lady is actually having her kids to research someone prominent in the Black community. And I don't know, I just thought, with it not being taught in the schools, right? That would be a good conversation to have. It will also help me to get more knowledgeable on what's going on in our country, because I don't know it all. I don't understand it all. But I feel that, as long as you are educating yourself, you can head in the right direction. So I don't know. I was thinking about introducing that to the kids so that we can have conversations, right? Like I want them to know, in a sense, the good, bad, and ugly, so that we can, dig a little deeper. I don't know,
Right.
because I can't depend on the school system to do that. I don't want it.
Right. I also think it helps them to understand that you are also vested into their history.
Yeah.
And it's not just you're leaving that to the school system to teach, because I'm gonna tell you, in certain topics, you don't want the school system to be the only ones that talk to them. We just had a conversation earlier this week, and it's like we don't want the school system to be the leading. We don't want them to learn it from school, and then they don't hear about it from us first. It's just it has to be it's a joint effort, but you have to make sure that we're doing our part. So. Do kids learn an inferiority complex at home or through experience?
I think it's a mixture of both.
Yeah.
And
not one before the other. I think it's just really a mixture, because it can happen both at the same time. They can happen.
But I know for one thing, they're watching us at home.
Absolutely.
It's just some things, as we know as adults, there's some things you just go learn. I know that's not grammatically correct, but you're just gonna have to learn it through experience. Yeah. You're just going to. But
and I'm gonna have to, like, other part is it's not so much of getting at a table and then teaching them. They're watching your behaviors towards other people. They're working your slick comments to other people. They looking at that and they're hearing it. Just listen to your kids sometimes, like see if they ever repeat anything that you repeat. Yep. If they ever repeat certain slang that you repeat. Typically they do, because they're listening at all times. You can be in your room, they can be in the next room. If they can hear you,
listening.
They listening. And we have
to make sure. They can't hear you calling them for something now.
There you go. Where the remote?
I sure will. I got called for where the remote. How many of y'all are where the remote people? Bring me a cup of water.
Really? No.
So I need you to hear this, and I need you to hear that. But yeah.
It's been a good conversation tonight, though. I will say this has been really good. I want to tell you guys to continue to, well, just each other. Let's continue to lift each other up. I mean,
Yeah.
we're doing all that we can. I know for us, when we've been doing a lot this weekend, we're still trying to help where we can with the homeless as much as we can. We went to go give out some masks earlier. So we did that to the homeless on Saturday, and then we also went to a protest as well. Um,
She said she's a part of Cut Off the Light crew.
oh.
Okay.
I think that's one of the major things that we have to continue to do is continue to fight. Do what you can for the homeless. Do what you can for the poor, disenfranchised. We have to do what we can do and
Vote,
make sure we vote.
educate yourselves.
Right.
Never
And if
stop.
you don't know what to vote for, there are tons of or who to vote for. There are tons of resources that you can look to see who is on our side. And when I say our side, I mean the greater good.
Yeah.
You can go to NAACP, National Urban League. Obama just had a town hall the other day. He has a website that
But
has
this
some
is a
additional
conversation,
resources.
because there are people from other countries listening,
Yeah.
right? So this is not I feel like an NAACP thing. This is
No,
you need to educate
right.
yourself and figure out
Right.
who is going to be in power
Right.
for the human race,
Yep.
right? Like, just anyway.
Yeah,
that's
and
a whole
then
other
you also have to
conversation.
make sure we're doing the census. Make sure dollars are going to be sent to the right neighborhoods.
Yep.
Right, complete the census. Like do everything needs to be done, and you just can't just rely on just protesting. You can't rely just on vote. Like, it needs to happen both. I heard Obama say something the other day. It's like, should we be protesting or should we be voting? He was like, both. He's like, do both. He said, protesting brings light to the situation. Voting helps to change the things that you have brought light to. And it's just, we have to do both. And let's continue to do that.
And don't forget, in the midst of everything that's going on, don't forget about your marriage.
Mhm.
Like, you cannot forget about your marriage.
Mhm.
You cannot forget to have that safe space. Like,
Mhm.
and the older we get, we're about to become teenagers in marriage. I'm not even old enough. Like, I'm 20s. I'm not even sure how that happened. But the older we get in our marriage, it's all about, making sure that we have that safe space to talk about any and everything. Because this thing, this week, this month, it's been really, really hard.
Mhm.
It's been really, really hard. And it's really comforting to know that you have somebody that you can just, like, you don't have to put a face on. You don't have to say the right words.
Mhm.
It don't have to make sense. But you can let it out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So
that was my end.
that was your end.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for joining in. Continue to follow us. Make sure you like, you share. If you want to help give to the ministry, our Cash App is, she's going to put the Cash App up.
Is that it? Okay.
Yeah, Life Changing Center, and also Gilify. Help us to be a change in our community. We're doing what we can.
That's all we're trying to do.
The more we have, the more we can do. That's been our mission since day one, a year ago. Again,
This is the 1-year anniversary of Marriage Talk.
It is. Yeah. It's kind of crazy.
I know y'all be judging me. Too bad. Whatever.
And then don't forget, and actually on Sunday we launch our virtual services.
Yes,
so,
Sunday we will be back with you guys. So tune
10
in
a.m.
Sunday.
and 5
At what
p.m.
time?
10 a.m. and 5 p.m.
5 p.m. we'll have virtual service.
On Facebook and YouTube. So make sure you go
Is it
out,
gonna be
you
on
like,
Instagram or
and
no? Okay. Facebook, YouTube.
Make sure you like and share, subscribe, notification, the little bell. Like the little videos you get, and like subscribe. And
Y'all know what subscribe means.
Put the bell for the notifications. Anyway, y'all be good. We hope y'all have a good one. Peace.
Love y'all. Bye.